Within the animation industry, it was like a huge bomb that went off in the industry because nobody really saw it coming.
In December 2018, the world was stunned with the release of Sony's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Marveled for its bold and innovative animation style, it quickly redefined what animation and film could be and earned widespread critical and audience acclaim. It spawned 2 sequels, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and the eagerly anticipated Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Meet Nick Kondo, who along with a great deal of other things, was an animator and eventual supervisor for the 2 Spider-Verse films. Today he shares his story working on the films and what a day animating looked like for him.
A day in animation, like if I'm animating all day, movies are broken down into sequences, which are like a series of shots or a section of the story that's kind of like it's all taking place at Aunt May's house, or this part's all taking place in the subway, or this type of stuff. So it's broken down into sequences. These sequences are assigned to a team of animators. If you're on that team, then the supervisor of that sequence is then assigning you some shots. So like a shot being like the camera is filming this and then it cuts and that's like a new shot. And you'll get assigned like 1 to 3 or 4 shots. Those 1 to 3 or 4 shots will typically take you, could be like a few weeks to animate. So you're going to be getting the shot from your supervisor. You guys are going to be talking about what is the point of the shot? What is the audience supposed to be feeling when they're watching this? What are the characters going through? What were they going through in the shots before yours? What's going to happen after this so that you are animating within the proper context of the story? Typically then an animator will go and film themselves acting out this stuff, or put yourself through the experience in one way or another, and you're trying to build a performance that feels genuine and appropriate to what's happening in the story. And then you're basically trying to translate that onto the character, and it's through like an approval process with your supervisor and the director and all this kind of stuff. But eventually the shot gets finished and then it ends up in the film. As I became a supervisor, the goal is still the same, right? You're still trying to make a genuine performance that's appropriate to this part of the film and have the director approve it. It's just as a supervisor, I'm helping my team do that rather than me like kind of focusing on my thing that I'm doing. I'm focusing on the whole sequence and helping the team, reach the goal.
Nick Kondo had been animating in the game industry for over 13 years before his time at Sony and working with film. Here he describes how he chose the projects and films he worked on.
Most people will find that you don't really choose the projects you work on. You choose maybe the studio you're working at or the company you're working at. I just, in some ways, got lucky. I didn't know that that's what I was going to work on when I went there. I knew it was going to be a Spider-Man movie, but they wouldn't tell me anything in the interview. So it wasn't, the Sony is going to work on Spider-Verse and Mitchell's, and that's why I went there. It was more like, I want to be an animator on film, so that's why I went there. They were the first ones to ask me if I wanted to. So the driving force behind why or where I end up is usually based on the role. Like, what am I going to get to do? What am I going to learn? That kind of stuff.
I asked Nick Kondo how, looking back across his entire career and all the projects he's worked on, what was the achievement that brought him the most joy?
One of the things that I noticed growing up is that I always felt like there was at least one other kid in every school I went to who was better at drawing than me, who I looked up to. In my experience, I was never really the best one. But one thing that I didn't do is that I never stopped. I sort of just held on to this childlike dream that I was going to be an artist, be a big artist, and I'm going to work in movies and stuff like that. And I just held on to it and never really let it go. And so one of the things that I'm happy about is that I am doing stuff and have been doing stuff for the past 20 years that I genuinely do really love and am excited about all the time. The overarching sort of like success, I think, was just sort of like holding on to the thing that I really enjoyed doing and loved doing and like didn't let go of it.
For the full interview with Nick Kondo, in which he shares his journey into the animation industry, head over to the Bulldog Press Spotify or website. I'm CJ Stokes, and if you enjoyed this video, head over to my website to see all of my work. Catch more student-produced media here on YouTube, and thank you for watching.